I'm kind of expecting cracked pots here to be rushed potentially from one of the teams. Both of them currently on BrinoMachino are hovering stone sword keys, but going for the cracked pots might not be the worst move, as it is a corner square, which is very powerful.
And let's see. Well, and the one thing about that though is that corner, if we were trying to get a corner bingo, that got kill round table Knight Vike, which is an incredibly difficult square. But I could definitely see that that first column being in play here.
I mean, even the diagonal, just use Vike as like your last square. So you go for Cracked Pots, Omen Killer, Sleeping Golem, Ash of War, Lightning. That's all very, very easy to do. Just really bulldoze that diagonal, top left to bottom right, and you leave Vike open for the enemy team to do. Waste their time on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go ahead and die to Vike for a couple of times, and we'll go do a different line.
It's such a tough fight.
Yeah, it's a very tough one, but that could definitely be a nice move here from these teams here. Everyone kind of hovering over the hook claws, though, as they are honestly really good weapons.
And fantastic.
And as I mentioned, by the way, Gino mentioning, hook claws or any fist weapon with bleed. There is Malenia on the board. There is Hitless on the board. I don't know if he's going to do it. It would be funny, though.
It would be funny. He is grabbing that cracked pot as his keepsake, so he is probably going for that cracked pot square right away, like you said.
Yeah.
So he would just need to grab a few from Kale in Church of Ella, and then a few more in Jarberg, and then one extra one probably from Bafo. Or Bofa, sorry.
Bofa. Yeah, I was like Bafo. I don't know who Bafo is.
I don't know. Bofa.
Yeah, it's a new NPC, man. DLC leaked yet again, chat.
Yeah.
Bafo is the new NPC.
I cannot wait to see the inclusion of the Bafo secret boss fight in this round that everybody knows about.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy. And we're starting here in 15 seconds, by the way. Looks like they're still kind of figuring out which classes they're going for here. Though Zoodle hovering over the hand axe and the Rotten Duelist axe. And it looks like the BrinoMachino doing the exact same setup. One person going for hook claws here, I believe just for early damage into another one getting into setup.
What would be the play here from Zoodle and Bree, starting with that different class? Oh, right at the last second, Zoodle actually changed his class. I didn't see what weapons it was. Yeah, right at the last second, changed it over.
Let me refresh them real quick just to make sure they were up to speed on all these players. Perfect. Yeah, so Bree's the only one going with the Rotten Duelist axe. Zoodle actually going for the Palisade Shield Celebrant's sickle.
Interesting. Why do you think that might be?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me look at the board again real quick just to see.
It's just cooler.
Maybe it's the stat line. It could be the stat line too.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Obviously, nobody going for Scion here. No need. We're all just jumping off the cliff right at the beginning.
Zoodle being a little bit behind here because he wanted to switch classes.
But that might not be the worst thing in the world in the end. But let's see what our first rush squares are going to be. I assume we could see 2 Cemetery Shades could be pretty quick. I could imagine... Let me see what else is on here that could be pretty quick. Sleeping Golem could be fairly quick. Return Thoughts Academy key might be something sort of like a secondary thing after we do a few rush squares. But let's see where we're at. Looks like we're getting out of the opening area.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm expecting Crackpots and Cemetery Shades to be gone very, very quickly, though. Those are very easy squares. Those are corner squares. So this is, I think, something that both teams should be focusing on, or at the very least not giving up on that. And also Omen Killer. Like, that is a very, very early square, especially with hook claws, that you should go for right away. And it looks like that Gino and Tom both have the same idea, just booking it straight towards the first Grace. Probably going straight to Scenic Isle and going straight for that Omen Killer. Maybe grabbing Rot Grease right before it just to make sure that that's a fast kill. But honestly, it's a Liurnia boss. You got Hook Claws, you got Bleeds. Might not even need that Rot Grease at all for this fight.
I was about to say, like, especially if these two players have killed his own Killer boss however many times in practice. So I feel like they're pretty confident at this point, doing it with no buffs or upgrades.
Yeah.
I will be really interested to see how long it takes them to get to the Omen Killer boss versus the 10 crackpots. Like, will Gino go for those crackpots immediately after the Omen Killer boss, or will he bide his time?
I don't know. That's always the fun part, is we'll find out at some point.
We will see. He's probably just like keeping that in his back pocket, because just knowing that he could get it set up fairly quickly. if he starts to see anything else in that vicinity kind of threatening that square, I could imagine him just jumping for it.
I could also see it as like a thing of like, hey, I'm gonna go for Omen Killer, but in case I lose it, I have Cracked Pots in my back pocket. I can make up for the deficit of losing Omen Killer and go for, I have the head start on Cracked Pots most likely.
Absolutely, that sounds very, very possible here. I'm trying to see other things that were going on. Let me see what Bree and Zoodle are up to. Just now, everyone is getting their Honda Accord, also known as Torrent, granting us an Accord. Let's see what we got going on. It's off the Scenic Isle, just like you said, for NPT. Gino going to Mountaintops of the Giants now.
Yeah, I think he's grabbing money real quick because you can't technically wield those hook claws right away. So he's grabbing that money, I think, right at first, and then going straight for the Scenic Isle afterwards.
Possibly.
For levels. But this might actually kind of shoot him in the foot here if he's considering going for Omen Killer still.
Yeah, it looks like everybody else is in Liurnia now. So let's see what and Tom is going straight for that Omen Killer right now. Where is Zoodle heading right now?
Not too sure.
Possibly, maybe just getting set
he's
up.
going to Jarburg, I believe, here, actually.
Aha! Oh, the double threat of the Omen Killer and the Cracked Pots at the same time.
Yeah, however, as I don't know if Zoodle changed his keepsake to Cracked Pots or not. I think he was still on Stone Sword keys. Bree currently going to Jarburg, I believe, as well, too.
Interesting. Because she didn't pick the Cracked Pots as her starting.
Wait, hold on a second here. Now, Gina making it nighttime, going for the Knight's Cav?
Interesting play. Now, here's where it becomes really, really interesting, especially at this point in the season. All of these players are incredibly experienced, and one of the things that I have noticed is that the more comfortable these players get, the less likely they are to go for the obvious plays right at the beginning. I feel like there is an element of mind games here as well. They are all in each other's heads at the moment. So these obvious plays, like they could be going for the getting set up for the obvious plays, but keeping them, like I said, in their back pocket is waiting. We do have the Omen Killer fight and Knight's Cav happening simultaneously. Very interesting. Nice dodge away NPT on that fire attack. Looking good so far. Good positioning. Getting a few hits in. Nice bleed proc.
Making me a little nervous there with that fire attack, though. Here it is again. It's got to be careful not to get burned.
Nice. And not only that, has made sure not to attract the dogs. Gino has knocked the Knight's Cav off of his horse and is about to get that killing blow. And one more hit. There it is. One Night Cav down for Team BrinoMachino. And let's see how that Omen Killer's doing. Now, this is so Tom didn't actually get did he actually get the claws online for this?
Yes, he actually started with the Lance Between rune unlike Gino, who started with Cracked Pots, so that actually helped him level right away instead of having to go to Mountaintops. I think that's why also Gino gave up that Omen Killer square. I think originally he wanted to, and then he realized, I don't have enough money. I should have started with money instead of actually the Cracked Pots if I wanted to rush Omen Killer. So that's why I think he's kind of substituting that with Knight's Cav instead.
That's going to be a really interesting thing to see how that ripple affects down through the rest of the match, because as I have seen in a lot of these matches, the opening 5-10 minutes can decide so many things for both teams.
Yep, and should almost have the Omen Killer down here for NPT, and now marked for Cracked Pots. It is actually Team Zoom for the Cracked Pots.
Wow, that was super. 6 minutes, less than 7 minutes into the match, and already that Cracked Pot's taken care of. That really, that's making Gino's decision of picking the Cracked Pots as the opening item seem a little less solid.
But also, by the way, that's a huge time sink here for Bree, who went to Jarburg, grabbed money. I think, honestly, grabbing the money from the graveyard really cost her the time there, by the way.
Possibly, yeah. So already a really interesting beginning to this match. First square on the board from Team Zoom. NPT. Did he lose to the Omen Killer?
Yes, he died.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he's going back again.
Third Knight's Cav here, or second Knight's Cav?
I believe second Knight's Cav.
Okay, because they did go to Weeping at first. I mean, he might have just pivoted over or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it was like a flail Knight's Cav, not a glaive one, because the flail ones I think are actually more annoying than the glaive ones.
They're really, they can be really sketchy. And let's see, what is Bree up to? Pivoting looks like in is this Weeping?
This is Weeping. Yep.
Yeah. So let's see, where could she be heading? Let me take a
Cemetery
look at the
Shades,
board.
possibly.
Cemetery Shades would be a really solid choice. Let me see if there's any other synergy for Weeping Peninsula stuff here.
I don't think the Knights Cav pickup here is a bad idea at all from Gino, by the way. That's definitely going to at least block row 3 and column 1 at the same time for Team Zoom. But the diagonal, like I mentioned, is still devastating. And I believe actually they're going for the sleeping golem here. I do think they're seeing actually that diagonal being like, oh, God.
Oh, yep.
If Team Zoom gets that diagonal going,
yeah.
that's a big problem. And it looks like, yeah, Bree might be going for that sleeping golem tower right away.
There is our Omen Killer square from NPT, getting 2 squares for Team Zoom, 0 for BrinoMachino at the moment.
Very, very interesting. Okay.
Absolutely. And not only that, killing the sleeping golem, if Bree picks up a Grace near this area, she could warp back here fairly quickly after finishing off the golem to get that at least one of those cemetery shades.
Yeah, I'm not too sure with the hand axe on the golem. That's going to be a little bit of a tough fight. I'm not going to lie. The poise is not going to be super great. The damage is going to be very subpar as well. Zoodlehover having the sickle, also not much better. So this is going to be very much of do you understand the sleeping golem fight, because they both don't have enough poise to just keep staggering the sleeping golem as soon as he stands up.
There's also the element of RNG involved with the sleeping golem, because sometimes when he falls prone, he can fall into some really wacky positions that make it impossible for you to actually get that riposte.
Yep.
So there is an element of luck here as well. So we will see how this goes for Bree.
Okay, looks like that NPT might be getting ready for the Bogart, by the way, for column 3. It's not a bad idea. Kind of like, you know, play into your lead here a little bit, create more bingo lines to have BrinoMachino deal with here. Going for the 20 boiled crab from Bogart quest line would be really, really good.
It turns out also that having those 20 boiled crab is actually pretty useful for some of these later bosses as well. That extra damage you get from them is actually nothing to sneeze at.
Yep. No, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. And yeah, right, I don't think I've seen anyone actually use the boiled crab either.
I think I've mostly seen Tom in practice use it. I think I saw him using it actually against Malenia in practice, which was pretty cool to see.
Fair.
And Bree is getting some of those good staggers on that golem. You see right there, actually, like how it staggered into the wall. Like if he had been like maybe like a meter a little bit further over that edge, it would have been possible to get it. So let's see.
Yeah, sometimes the body of the golem does slide a little bit down for you to get that, but yeah, sometimes it just hangs over the edge, just hangs in the air instead. Tom now already in, Alta's here. I think he's going for the Ashes of War into boiled crab play. That's actually not a bad idea. So he already activated the quest line, going to go for the boiled crab, but also be in the vicinity of Lightning Ram. So he can do both, while Zoodle here goes for Sleeping Golem. So they are looking at the diagonal. They are showing that threat. They are thinking of the same thing.
Oh, I will be very excited. We got one. Bree has taken down the Sleeping Golem in Lane Dell. Very good play from Bree.
Yeah, nice block.
Managed to get some work out of that axe.
Very, very nice.
The thing that will be really interesting to me, in the part of this season that is actually still kind of like I never know what to expect, are the weapon checks. I'm really interested to see if all of their contestants will end up looking for better weapons going forward.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I was talking about that a little bit in Tom's stream. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on, why people, kind of just don't check round table. At the very least, round table. Yeah, okay, you have to go to round table. You have a loading screen, and it takes you like 5 seconds to run over there. But it's 5 seconds. 5 seconds to maybe find like a really good weapon for the rest of the run, I think is always worth a check. But obviously, we are in the early game here. So the early game, you just have to go ahead and make sure that you just rush squares first and then go into prep here. Also, by the way, Tom killing one of the civilians walking around in Altus, dropping a golden rune 12 for money. So I think that's a really good way of actually dealing with Bogart here. That's actually, I didn't even know about that. That's a lot of money.
That actually is a really, really savvy play by Tom here, especially considering he's just on the way. That's the kind of stuff, like the kind of synergy that you love to see in bingo like this.
Yeah, that's the very niche knowledge that I was talking about at the beginning of the season. where it's like, hey, you can watch speed runs all the time. You can watch hitless runs, but this niche knowledge is going to be only showing up in bingo because it's the only time you actually really need it. And that's one of those things too. Is like, if I kill this one specific civilian walking around in Altus, I'll get a Golden Rune 12 that will really help me out with my build. It's a very unique thing to do.
Oh, absolutely, and especially like what Bree just did right now. She just got a bunch of money from Halig Tree, which has become very much a meta. I feel like this season of just grabbing that Lord's Rune, the Golden Rune 10, as well as the Newman's Rune to get set up here. Looks like a Death's Poker is at Roundtable Hold, as well as a Meteoric Ore Blade. You talking just a minute ago about checking Roundtable Hold for good weapons. Lo and behold,
good weapons,
awesome weapons.
And there it is, 2 for 2, by the way. BrinoMachino are now on the board and tied right now with Team Zoom. But this is going to be their third square here for Team Zoom now on this Bogart.
All right, let's see, and let's get up some crab.
There is 20 crab, and there is the square.
Awesome.
Very huge.
This is already an incredibly exciting match. I was not expecting it to be this close this soon. Really, really cool stuff.
I feel like I can kind of see it in Gino's head right now. He's like, this is my calling. It's Malenia block into Remembrance hitless. Like, I should do this. Bree, let me do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let him cook. Let's see what we got going on here. Looks like Bree grabbing this Grace at the southern gate of Raya Lucaria. Let's see. Oh, what is over here? I know that there's some good stuff over here that Bree's looking at right now.
There is an axe check. No, never mind. This is on the other side. She's going to go to EG, it looks like, for Meteoric Ore Blade upgrade.
That makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. Oh, I love this weapon. This is my favorite weapon in the game. It's so good.
I have not messed around with it much, but I've seen it a bunch this season, and it makes me want to mess around. It seems really, really cool.
So it's the only katana that actually scales off of strength rather than dex. Also, it is a gravity weapon, so it's strong against Falling Star Beasts and Estelles because they're gravity creatures, so you get 10% bonus damage. And on top of that, it also has a magic component to it as well. So it's a fully, like I would say 80% physical and then 20% magical, with a really strong charge dart too, also known as the Ichimonji from Sekiro. So it has a lot of bonuses to it that are just it's really fun to use and it looks cool. So
absolutely, we will let's see if Bree ends up taking that gravity weapon to Falling Star Beast right after this. That would be, I feel like, a really good play here.
That would make a lot of sense. I would definitely agree with that play for sure. And yeah, Tom right away grabbing the Meteoric Ore Blade as well, by the way, going straight to Halig Tree, getting the money, grabbing the Somber 9. I think he's ready for prep now.
Absolutely. I think we are off to the races with these weapon checks. Now that everybody knows that we've got a banger of a weapon in Roundtable Hold, we're going to see some really, really exciting fights here coming up.
Yeah. Looks like Gino here getting ready to go to Third Church of America potentially. Maybe going for that Magma Worm, by the way. That would make sense. Going for the Physic into the Magma Worm. Also grabbing the Painting Reward here, because there's Painting Rewards on Road 2. So he's kind of like, oh, is he? Maybe not? Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah, he's going for that Painting Reward, looks like.
Yeah, there we go. So this is a nice little routing, I think, from Gino. Definitely making sure to get that painting, get your Physic on top of that, then also go to Magma Worm. This is a very nice decision here, I think.
Yeah, nice line here.
Yeah.
And yes, absolutely. It does look like Bree is heading to Falling Star Beast as predicted.
Very good idea. I am surprised, though, that Team Zoom has not stat dumped 30 Faith yet, just to make that column a little bit more intimidating with either Malenia or Garank on the board. Although maybe that's what MPT could do here, honestly, with the 50k from Halig Tree, is just stat dump now and then go straight for Garank and just leave Malenia open.
100%. What tunnel is Zoodle in right now? I can't tell.
I believe this is the Magma Worm one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the Gale Cave, yes.
Yep.
Okay,
so yeah, he's entering Magma Worm. So this might be a little bit of a snipe, possibly on Gino, although he's currently still at Third Church, so possibly not as much. But he does have the Uchigatana here. I think did he find that round table or did he find that Kale? I don't know.
I am not sure. I missed him getting that, but obviously an excellent starter weapon.
Oh, no! Bree gets absolutely destroyed by the Kindred Rod here. I don't think she even got the ladder.
That attack is devastating.
Yeah.
It's so rough to deal with.
It's brutal. Honestly, that's one of the only times where I'm like absolutely quiet and just listening, because you can kind of hear it in your headphones when they do that attack, and just roll as much as you can to like to avoid it. But that move has insane tracking. It is so hard to deal with.
Especially if you can't actually see it, if it's behind you and you have no idea where those tendrils are going to hit, it is just rough.
Yeah.
It does look like Zoodle is doing some major damage to this Magma Worm, letting that riposte go away just so he can get some more hits in. Looking like a textbook fight right now. Just one more hit. Bam.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh,
Nice.
oh.
There we go.
Almost
4-2
touched that
now.
lava. 4-2. What is going on in this match? This is wild.
I'm expecting, so I assumed that Gino was kind of going for that now, but maybe is going to go for a weapon check instead. He's currently at the, okay, he's grabbing the rot grease here and just pivoting right away. I think he was going to go for the magma worm, but grabbing also that rot grease on the way, realizing now that it's taken, I think he's going to have to go for something else. But the question is what? Like,
Yeah, we will see.
not 30 Faith. Okay, he's going straight to Garunk here. Okay, I think this is an interesting play. Grabbing that rot grease, going straight to Garunk with the hook claws, trying to block that column 3 to make sure that they cannot get pressured too much by that from Team Zoom.
I think that's a smart play, especially if Gino's going to be able to deal with this boss just fine. It is going to take a while, I think, especially I don't know if he was able to. He's level 16, it looks like. I don't know if he was able to upgrade his claws very much.
I don't think so. I think this is plus 0 claws.
This might take a while. We will see how the bleed procs work out. But it is, I do think, like you said, a really necessary block at this point.
Yeah. Right here, fighting the Falling Star Beast, by the way.
Yep. Decent
damage. I don't know if this is, I think it's possibly a +4 would be my guess. Ichimonji coming out here as well.
Seems very powerful, that Ichimonji.
Yeah, it's so good. I think it's like 36 poise.
That's awesome.
Charged R2. It's very good. It's very, very good. I absolutely love this weapon. It deals a lot of damage, deals a lot of poise. Nice riposte here from Bree. There is the Falling Star Beast now on the board.
Though. There we go. Now it looks like Team BrinoMachino is starting to catch up here.
Oh, no. Gino does die to Garanka, gets tagged.
Oh, yeah, this is the scary part. Like, if he's only level 16, it only takes one hit from this guy. He's a really, really tough boss, really tight room.
Okay, Zoodle here now, actually, also in what seems to be the Falling Star Beast tunnel. Still going to go for it? Or is he just grabbing
possibly.
the smithing stones here?
That's what I'm thinking. Smithing stones, possibly. If anything, if he's going to go for Falling Star Beast, which I don't know if he would, he does get the bell bearing and a little bit of slipping and sliding. On
I hate grabbing that one smithing 5 because it's so weird. Like, you have to like double jump up to like actually get it. It's in such a weird position, and you keep sliding off.
Looks like Tom has also died to the Black Flame Monk outside of the Godskin Noble Arena in Volcano Manor.
Oh, and Gino dying again, getting double tagged. I think he's trying to be a little too aggressive here. Maybe I'm not too sure.
It is possible. You know, they Team Zoom did put BrinoMachino on the back foot right at the very beginning of this match, and you know, it's been, what is this? What weekend of bingo are we at this point? It's a lot of matches, a lot of practice. All of these players are incredibly talented, but at the end of the day, it could be a thing of just like a brain fart can happen. It is not out of the question.
Yeah, brain fart, stress, you know, it being the final match for round robin. You know, maybe you just had too many tacos last night. It could be anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see.
Tom actually pivoting off of the Godskin Noble, by the way.
Probably, maybe just having that gray setup is probably a good idea. The one is Godskin Noble on this board. Yes, center row. So Godskin without status effects.
Yes,
that'll be an interesting fight.
I mean, Tom was there, but I think he's going actually straight for what seems to be EG now. Going to go for that +6 instead of fighting Godskin Noble without status effects, which I believe is a good idea, to be honest. Maybe leaning into Magnus, Fire Giant. That could always be a thing. Or is going straight for Garank. That could be a thing, too. But Garank is slowly dying here already on Gino's screen. So got to make sure he doesn't die again.
And it looks like Bree has gone down in the mountaintops. I didn't see what hit her, though.
I think it might have been intentional death.
Okay.
But I'm not too sure. Stagger here on Gino's screen. He should be able to kill here. off of this riposte potentially.
Let's see.
That rot
Damage?
is ticking away. Oh,
Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
one more charge rot 2 should do it. There it is. And that's a nice Garunk block here on column 3 and row 1, by the way. So very, very nice block. Neither on Team Zoom were going for it. However, now currently tied 4-4 now.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you know, even though it did take Gino a little bit of time to get Garong, that's usually a late game square. Like that is something that you usually wait on. The fact that he's doing that 23 minutes into the match is really, really, one, impressive, two, smart.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, if anything, you could still have gone for that 30 faith. But I think as we notice, like, more and more into the season, these stat dump squares, like 30 faith, arcane, intelligence, are such traps. Because you really put yourself at such... You pretty much give yourself a debuff. Because all of your leveling beyond that is going to be so expensive that it's just not worth it. And so a lot of these teams are really playing around that, being like, hey, no, you stat dump. No, you stat dump. I don't want to do this. No, you stat dump. You know, really trying to force the enemy team to kind of deal less damage at some point, especially in the later games.
It also does make sense to kind of hold off on that stat dump until some of these later remembrance bosses are taken care of that are on the board. Like Fire Giant and Malenia drop a ton of money, especially Malenia. So if any of these players can get Malenia on the board, they can also immediately dump the, like, I think it's like a $500,000 that you get from her, something like that. Dump that immediately into whatever stat is on the board.
Yeah, 500,000, and I believe also her remembrance. There's also 50,000. So yeah, that's a lot of money for sure. That could really help out, and be a nice block if it's hitless too. I believe Cemetery Shades here now for Zoodle. While he's running like the plus 15, I believe Uchigatana here. Bree going for Magnus potentially, checking to see if Gold Mask is having a good day or not.
Gold Mask, how you doing, bro?
He is just pointing.
Yeah, like you do.
Like you do. You know, it's
like
just...
you do. You know, he's got it all figured out, man. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know, they do say silence is golden, and Gold Mask do have that in his name. So
that is, I never thought about that. That just blew my mind a little bit.
I know. I kind of stumbled upon that myself. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's see here. Yep, we got that Magnus fight coming up in just a moment. Not too tough of a fight, if I remember correctly.
He can do a lot. He's like a Don. He's very secretly, like, very strong, especially with those bestial slings. As you can see, Bree's constantly getting tagged with those bestial slings. He can be really, really annoying for sure. I don't know how the damage is for Bree. Not super great. That R1 wasn't very strong. You're still at +4, I believe. And that Lion's Claw can one-shot you easily. So I think she's just trying to play around that Lion's Claw potentially.
Yep, and baiting out the Lion's Claw so she can get that backstab there. Very powerful. Let's see. We do have that Cemetery Shade, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
To be able to just melt this thing. Yeah, melting it. Look at that.
Yeah, nice backstab. Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah, 2-hit fight. There you go.
Very, very nice.
Well done from Zoodle. Looks like Gino is in the mountaintops again. Let's see, where is he heading here? Oh, and there goes Magnus. Magnus is down.
They're showing that column 4 now a little bit, being like, hey, we could I think he might be going for Fire Giant here with Rot Grease.
He is going to Fire Giant. He is definitely going that way. At least unlocking that path and getting a Grace just to threaten it. So that is, again, a very smart move. Looks like Tom has gone down to Magnus as well.
Yeah, I think he saw it was taken. He's like, all right, just kill me, Magnus. Just get me out of here.
There it is. And we are 5-4. That comeback, BrinoMachino in the lead. This is exactly the kind of match I was hoping for, by the way. Like the sort of back and forth.
Yeah.
Surprises and turnabouts, as it were. Very, very cool stuff from BrinoMachino and Team Zoom.
This is very, very interesting. Doing Fire Giant hitless with Hook Claws, I believe still +0 and Rot Grease.
That is outrageous.
It's going to take a long time, is all I'm going to say.
It's a lot of HP.
One of the tankiest bosses, I believe, in the game. This is going to take a hot minute. For sure.
Well, luckily he does have that bleed, so that will help at least a little. At least a little.
Yeah, I agree. But the phase 2 is the problem, right? Because phase 2, he's just running around, rolling all over the place.
Yeah, RNG is going to be king here. We're just gonna have to. He's just gonna have to hope that he's going for those more, as it were, close range attacks for Fire Giant, which are really long range attacks.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see if he decides to be a roly poly today. Let's see, and it does look like Zoodle is going for that second Cemetery Shade.
This will be nice for Team Zoom for sure, getting that second. This will mean that Fire Giant is a priority, though. This is looking like a little bit like a Fire Giant race, by the way, as Tom is currently also in Mountaintops, I think making his way towards Fire Giant. This would be very interesting because if now Tom gets Fire Giant with Cemetery Shades, they would have a bingo line as well,
would
the
have
diagonal.
That bingo line going, especially with the 5 unique seals and a Remembrance Boss hitless. Imagine Tom gets Fire Giant hitless. What kind of threat that would be.
Yeah.
Especially he should be able to, like, he's got that Meteoric Blade. He has upgraded it. I don't know if it was +4 or more than that.
Should be +6. He was in Volcano Manor.
There it is. Yeah, +6. So he is probably, even if he manages to get the Fire Giant, which Gino just started that fight, Gino is going to have a bit of a head start, but a much, much, much weaker weapon.
Yep. It looks like that his hook claws are +10, but I still don't believe that that really makes it faster than a +6 Somber Meteoric Ore Blade, to be honest. But he does have quite a head start, though, on this fight. Like, Tom is at least another minute out before he can actually get to this fight. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
No, the question is, if Gino gets tagged here and gets taken out by Fire Giant, then we're going to have a real race. We'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, I do wonder, actually, if Gino then would reset because he doesn't think that it's currently being contested.
Yeah.
Cemetery Shades here being marked by Zoodle, by the way, now. So that's currently 5-5 on the board. I'm going to go ahead and bring us over to the big screen, by the way, for all players. So get ready for that, chat. The bingo board is going to vanish here for just a moment. So we can watch both Fire Giant fights side by side. This is going to be very, very interesting. Zoodle here now grabbing the Radon Grace and then moving, I believe, to Altus. Yeah.
Yes, to make sure that he can actually activate that teleporter and the Radon Festival.
Right. I do wonder if he's going to lean into seals at some point.
Yeah, that is the question. In this case, it would just be going to all of the various places that seals would be and just picking up the randomized seals. Did that make sense? Basically picking up like what the locations of where the seals would be in a vanilla game of Elden Ring, and then just picking up those seals.
Oh, the seals and staves are not randomized though.
Oh, they're not randomized?
Yes, they're
okay,
intentionally. They're intentionally not randomized, just to make it a little bit easier. And also, like it really, the seals and staves when they were randomized, it caused a bit too much of making sorcery only and incant only bosses like almost near impossible, if not just a huge trap. Because what if you get a seal that you can't even wield? If it was randomized, so we made those static instead, just to make it a little bit easier for the players.
Cool. Good to know. Looks like Gino's about to get to phase 2 on Fire Giant.
Still hitless, by the way. Here, Tom currently in Halley Tree now, grabbing some money. Not thinking that it's being contested.
Yeah, it's very possible that Tom is just decided, you know what, maybe not worth it.
Bree here currently just absolutely ramming into other rams, getting that lightning ram square now. That is 6-5.
The Ash of Ram.
The Ash, Lightning Ash Ram of War.
Ram of War. Well done. 6-5 BrinoMachino to Team Zoom. Looks like Bree is heading to the Lake of Rot, possibly to grab some stones. I don't know if she already grabbed them.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. No, she's currently in Lake of Rot right now. All right, there should be hopefully a rod here on Fire Giant soon for Gino, by the way.
There it is. She's grabbing Somber 8 and possibly I think a Somber 7. She's going to be getting her Meteoric Ore Blade online here.
Ooh, gets a nice bleed proc on Fire Giant, and also the Rot Grease now is pulling effect here on the Rot on Fire Giant. That's going to be
again
huge.
the fact that this is what even just like a +10 weapon, really, really impressive.
The only problem here for Bree now is the fact. Oh, nice stagger here, by the way, on the Fire Giant too. Going to poke that eyeball. The problem for Bree now is that her weapon does bleed, though, so she wouldn't be able to do Godskin Noble without bleeding him, unless she just, like, waits it out sometimes. While Tom here...
That would be the play if she decides to go with a bleed weapon. We've got Radon, Zoodle taking on Radon now, with that Uchi Katana. Probably a hitless Remembrance Square is my guess.
This is what it's looking like, unless Gino gets tagged here in the last second. Yeah, I think he's got this in the bag, and there it is. Fire Giant hitless. That's going to be 2 squares now. Huge block here on that column.
Tremendous block.
Tom just entering that fight now, too.
And not only that, now we have a threatening bingo column for Godskin Noble without status effects. That's got to be done ASAP by all involved.
Very, very nice play from Gino here. Kind of making up for those 2 deaths on Garunk, too, by just doing a hitless Fire Giant real quick. Like I said, that was a really early Fire Giant, too, at 33 minutes. That was a very, very nice play.
Very, very well done. Let's see. And we've got, Bree heading to Volcano Manor. Probably going to get that Godskin Noble Square, but let's see how that works out. Did you say that the Meteoric Orblade does cause bleed?
Yes.
Ooh, that's going to be tricky. That will be tricky.
So I'm not too sure how they're going to play around that. Looks like that Zoodle tried to one-cycle Radon here, almost had it. Radon coming back in, though. Radon arrive. One more unsheath should do it. There it is.
Yeah, Tom is heading over right now as well to Godskin Noble. Some really, really good dodges away from that Omen Killer that hangs out there. Backstepping through the lava, this is the tried and true method of getting through this lava as quickly as possible.
I'm really wondering, though, like, both teams have only bleed weapons.
Oh my God. She's going for Malenia.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
And yeah, it looks like Gino's going for Thops' key here. So they're going to be going for that row 5 bingo, not going to even go for that Godskin Noble. It's a bait. It's just a bait.
Absolutely. Really, really smart play on their part. Yeah, and especially smart because, look, Tom is trying to get to Godskin Noble and just got taken out by that Snake Man. That is 100% the mind games that I was talking about at the beginning of the match. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I was looking forward to.
Yeah, this is something where as soon as that Fire Giant hitless got marked, this just gave him so much more opportunity to kind of play with the board.
Yeah, absolutely massive momentum from that play. Really nice waterfowl dodge there.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting for sure.
What is Zoodle up to right now? Looks like he is...
And Halictree right now going to be grabbing the 35,000 here in the Halictree area for the trees. If Zoodle goes for Tops' key, I don't think he would have enough time anymore either. I think this might just be a bingo line here for Team BrinoMachino, so they'd be at 12 squares or 12 points. Sorry, 12
I think
points.
So.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild. Let's see if Tom is able to take that Godskin Noble down. Also really interesting because he does have also the a very similar setup, a lot of bleed weapons. So we will see if he is able to sort of keep the mental math in order to make sure that he does not accidentally proc that bleed against the Noble. Looks like Bree is also almost done with phase 1 of Malenia. Extraordinary job here.
Zoodle off by 1 level for the 30 Faith, by the way, to make sure that Bree cannot go for Malenia into 30 Faith. But sadly off by 1, so he has to get a little bit more money to make sure that at least they can't pull off that combo if that's what they're going for.
Yep, and he's having to think right now, where can I get quick money? Where can I find fast money? Looks like Gino also... Lots of boss fights going on right now. 3 of them. 3 boss fights. Red Wolf of Radagon goes down.
Nice waterfall again by Bree. Very, very nice fight. Phase 2 here. I'm going to bring it up to the big screen.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for that here as we move into the big screen for all 3 fights, a.k.a. 2 fights now.
Gino's 2 levels shy of that 30 face square.
What a nice fight, though. Well, so interesting.
Really well done.
Yeah, a 37-minute Malenia, by the way, is A little sooner than expected, but still, I think very much on time and a very good choice.
This is going to be super cool to watch. Let's see. Has she been hitless so far in this match?
No, she already got tagged once.
Okay.
It was in the beginning of phase 2. She walked into the Aeonia Blossom a little too soon.
It's so easy to do that. It's it's an invisible hitbox. It's really, really tough to know exactly where it is.
Or when you're allowed to like go in, yeah.
Yep, it is tricky. You do have to look for her animation, but even then, it can be kind of tricky depending on your positioning.
Yep. Nice fight though so far though from Bree. Very, very nice fight. One more charge dart too. Should give her a stagger here to be honest. Going for R1s real quick for some punishes here. A little bit of roly-poly action on NPT's part. Oh,
Zoodle is fighting Round Table Knight Vike, one of my least favorite NPC bosses in this game. So difficult to deal with.
interesting that he goes for Vike here. I wonder what the choice is that he's going for Vike over everything else. Another Scarlet Ionia, I believe that's what it's called, from Bree.
Yep, and she just got tagged again by it. Again, that hitbox is really tricky to know.
Also, to be fair, honestly, if you're trying to go fast, just take the hit. You'll get in. You get to do a charged R2 rather than just doing it like an R1, for example. It's definitely worth it. And yeah, she is almost done with this fight already. This is going to be very, very huge for Team Brino.
Is almost there. Just need some good RNG here. Looks like Tom and Bree are going to be finishing their fights relatively close to each other as long as both of them stay on top of it and don't get hit.
All right, there it is. There's the Malenia now down for Team
done.
Brino.
Huge. Absolutely huge. Double bingo threat currently.
That's absolutely amazing. Very, 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 very nice fight here from Bree. Getting that Malenia square now for her team. Now you got Thops' Key and Godskin, and Gino's already on his way to Thops right now.
Absolutely. 9-5. What a comeback from the beginning of the match. And this is the nice, like, sometimes, like, letting the beginning of the match, just taking some time to get things set up and kind of getting a feel for it.
This is the GG's.
You never know. Yeah.
This is the GG's. Because she got 30 faith off of Malenia now. Thops' Key for Gino. That's a bingo line. That's 13.
There it is. Yep, it is just about done here.
Very, very well played. Honestly, very strong early game here from Team Zoom. But I think the Fire Giant call was just a little too late.
I think that Fire Giant play was the play of the game here.
Yep. That Fire Giant play saved the whole board for Team Brino. If Team Zoom got Fire Giant, I think it would have been actually way, way different. So very, very well played from Team BrinoMachino here, for sure.
Yeah, at the very least, if Team Zoom had gotten the Fire Giant square, it would have made the match significantly longer, I think.
Wow.
But we will see. We will see how this shakes out.
I'm blown away by that. I'm not gonna lie. There it is, Godskin Noble though for Tom though, blocking that column 4, but does it matter? It does not, as the bald-headed man gives you some sorceries.
There we go. Let's see. Thops has a lot to say before he can give him the square.
Yeah. Dude's a little yapper.
And
there it is.
There it is.
There it is. GG's,
everybody. Very awesome game.
That's crazy.
Really, really cool stuff here.
Wow. Wow.
Fire Giant and Malenia in one match. How can we be mad? This is just incredible.
That was a very, very nice fight. Or just very, very nice match overall. And yeah, I mean, BrinoMachino going to go into the finals here as undefeated 5-0. They've secured their place for Seed 1.
Powerhouse performance by Team BrinoMachino here. All right, it looks like everybody is wrapping up here. Should we?
Yeah, let me go ahead and check to make sure that they're all ready to hop into a call here real quick. Yeah, that decision making really saved them for sure. Because at first it was very much like, oh, we gotta stop them, we gotta stop Team Zoom, we gotta stop them, and it was like, well, how about we just don't stop them? Let's go for the Fire Giant.
It really did feel that way. It was like there was a lot of responding to Team Zoom at the very beginning of the match, but the moment that both Bree and Gino decided to just lock in and be like, you know what, we're just gonna do our thing, was the moment that the tides turned.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move them in here. Give me just a moment.
Sounds good.
Oh, where'd you go? I lost my doctor. Hold on a second.
I'm right here.
All right, I popped him out. Yeah, your camera was gone. That's all.
Hey.
All right, and you're back. Welcome back. All right. And GG's, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. GG's to BrinoMachino for that dub, dude.
GG's.
Incredible match, everybody.
What a roller coaster. Not gonna lie. So early game was very much obviously in Team Zoom's favor, and that Fire Giant Rememberless Hitless play, I believe, just like saved the board for BrinoMachino in that case, and really gave you 2 bingo lines to really play with. But kind of give me the rundown and thought process of the board early on. What were like the deciding factors to the plays that led to your victory today for Brino?
Well, luckily enough, we actually had a mistake in the beginning that kind of really changed our perspective on how we had to play the board, because we were going to have Gino rush Omen Killer for center square, but we were both, I think, fixating a little bit on cracked pots. So we both accidentally started with cracked pots, and he didn't have the
I should have started with the rune, and I didn't. So then, like, that was basically off the table to go for Omen Killer, I thought. So then I just decided Knight's Cavalry because, you know, it's either we get cracked pots and then we get cavalry and then we get, you know, like a bingo threat, or if they get both, which they did, then it's just like, you know, it's a block. As long as we can manage their diagonal, which we did, then it was just like a block play to do something early. But
was the golem contested? Because I was behind on that. I made some bad warps.
Yeah, I was after crack pots. I was half HP golem, something like that.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it was close. Because it felt like the most important block, because that diagonal was so scary. We saw that diagonal ourselves, so I'm not sure if that's kind of what you guys were hoping for, if you got that. I was off by like I think 2 seconds on cracked pots, and it was all because I picked up too many runes in the graveyard. So that's good to know. It's a good mistake.
Oh yeah. That was one thing that we were like a little surprised by, because you were ahead on cracked pots, and all of a sudden Zoodle marked it, and I was like, wait, hold on, what happened?
Yeah, I picked up too many runes. I only needed the 1 rune, but I was a little nervous, so that cost me the square 100%. Yeah, I think sometimes losing those early squares gives you like a fresh perspective on the board, like once they're gone. So I think it allowed us to target some other things that we weren't necessarily thinking immediately. So
yeah.
Zoodle, didn't you forget first step though?
No, I didn't. At the end.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, by the way, so what was the big switch from? So like just from our perspective here, from the doctors and mine, was the fact that early on it was okay. They got 2 squares now. They're gonna go for Bogart. They got Magma Worm. We gotta just like block, which was Garunk. The Knight's Cap I think was just a nice like hindsight play of being like, okay, just get rid of the column 1, and the Sleeping Golem. But then after that, it turned more into we gotta stop bingo lines into okay, let's go and just go for a threat, which is Fire Giant. Remember it's hitless. Was that, I guess? What was the
Falling Star Beast was like, for in my mind, once I got that square, I was like, okay, I think we could make like a decent threat. And then I think once I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do Magnus, and Gino was like, well, I'm gonna try Fire Giant hitless. I'm like, that is bold, but I like it, and I think it builds a lot of really good pressure. So I think that was our instance to be like, okay, let's try to pressure a little bit. And then Noble, the reason why I backed off of that, so I got the Grace and then I backed off because I had Orb Blade, so I would have had to like wait in between my attacks. Essentially, it would have worked. It just it's kind of a long, annoying fight. So I'm like, okay, well, it's either this like super long, potentially snipe square, or I try Malenia. So that's what we went with.
Okay, and has that conversation ever come up with? Because I think I did start talking about it as soon as Bogart and Omen Killer were shown. that Gino might be like, let me do Malenia hitless real quick. Did that ever occur?
Yeah, I was between Malenia and Fire Giant.
Okay.
Because I had +9 claws. Claws kill Malenia pretty fast.
Right.
And I kind of figured with that hitless square, like, there wasn't really any other than I guess Renala. There wasn't really any other reason to go to a Remembrance boss. You know, like because Renala just goes in with Thopsky and Liurnia bosses.
Right.
But I wasn't expecting someone to be close to hitless. So I was like, I can probably manage to go for one of the slower fights and just get it. But yeah, I ultimately decided Fire Giant just because it was just a better location of the square. Like it blocks. Like if I don't get hitless, it still at least blocks their diagonal, and then also builds up ours. And whereas like Malenia built up something that like I guess it was decent, but Fire Giant just seemed like the better play, so I went with that instead.
Yeah, because if you went for the Malenia hitless, if hitless got blocked, then your whole line was useless anyways. But Fire Giant still activated a separate line on top of that. So yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah, and block them. Exactly,
Right. And Team Zoom game plan from the beginning up until the very end. Like, what were your thoughts and choices up until
Yeah,
basically
so...
the.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just said that I go for crackpots and Tom for Omen Killer, and then I went for Sleeping Golem, but they got sniped, and then I went for, Falling Subby. Or what did I go for? Magma Worm, yeah. And after Magma Worm, I went for Falling Subbies, but then that got sniped. And Remembrance Hitless was actually pretty close because I think my Radam was already going into second phase, like flying away basically.
right.
That was almost blocked from us, and Tom was on the way to Fire Giant hitless as well. And then Magnus Tom got also sniped on Magnus. It was basically what we had yesterday, guys, but the other way around.
First, yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
There's definitely a lot of like call-outs for sure. Like a lot of races between you two today. The two teams today. So that was really fun.
Well, you saw that yesterday, Dom.
Yes.
How similar we were playing, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we all play pretty similarly with our train of thought. So.
Oh, sorry, Tom. We're gonna say by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the original plan was for me to go for Godskin Noble without status effects, and I was gonna use a plus. I guess it could have been +10. But it was the thought was like +6 Meteoric or Blade without leveling the int, so the bleed didn't happen, so I could just fight him straight up.
Gotcha.
But then some button got eaten or something, and I didn't roll the dude in front of Godskin Noble's arena.
Oh no.
So I didn't get the elevator. Or the bridge.
Right.
So then I pivoted to Magnus, and then when I got into Magnus, it was marked. So then I went for Fire Giant, and when I got to Fire Giant, it was marked. Yeah. So like I didn't think going for Godskin Noble again was gonna like doing that whole entire path again was the play. I figured going for another square was better, but I guess it was the play.
I see. I just want to ask, so you didn't level the intelligence to prevent the bleed? That's so smart.
Yeah, that was the original idea.
I love that. That's very smart.
And then I did level it so that way I could go contest Fire Giant. And I had like a +10 and a +10 Ore Blade and a Claws for Rot in phase 2. So I was pretty sure I could have potentially done that hitless, but Gina was on it before me. And then I had Lightning Ram set up pretty nicely. At least the grace for Lightning Ram. I was going to work on that, but didn't have time.
That was actually my big question, and thank you for answering that with the weapon you're using against Godskin Noble. Like, I was wondering for both you and Bree, like, how are you going to deal with Godskin Noble without status effects? And just having to kind of also just like kind of mentally keeping track of that bleed meter, that's completely invisible, you know. So really cool strat there to prevent that bleed.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I was just gonna sit and wait, maybe take out the hand axe and just like poke him a little bit, but that was a really smart play in my opinion.
I had to just do a really slow fight for that square.
Yeah.
To prevent the bingo, but you guys were doing the other one. So
Yeah, that was our idea. We came up with that.
Okay, sure, dude. All right. Nice one. Okay. Anyways, thanks for playing, guys. That's the end of the round robin for you, though. So that locks BrinoMachino in for seed 1. So you guys go straight to the finals, by the way. As a heads up. And Zoom, I don't know. I don't think
No,
you
we
guys.
out. We out.
Yeah,
No,
I think you guys sadly do not get the top 3, but I do really enjoy you guys playing this season. It was really, really fun watching you guys play together and watching your team communication and all the practice matches. With that being your last match, any quick send off messages you guys want to, you can shout yourselves out. You can talk about what you're working on next. Whatever you like.
you go first.
Tom, what are you working on? Okay. I just want to say thanks for Bingo Brawler Season 4. I'm already thinking about Season 4. Let's go. Can't wait for Season 4. No, thank you for inviting again. Season 3 was a lot of fun with the duo. Was a new thing, and I think we all had a lot of fun with it. And really appreciate the community. Insane goal you guys reached for the prize pool, but also just watching all the practice matches and thank you to all the bingo community. You guys are amazing. Keep rocking.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, the community is absolutely amazing. Tom, do you have any closing words?
I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to play in Season 3. It's been an absolute blast. I feel like I found a very nice group to hang out with and practice games that I find enjoyable, and just not just Elden Ring but other stuff too. Really appreciate you guys inviting me into this community, and thank you for all the support, chat, and the whole entire community of Bingo Brawlers. You guys have been incredibly supportive all the way around. And I look forward to the future.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, you two. I really do appreciate it. And GG's again to BrinoMachino for taking the dub today. With that being said, can we get some 07s in chat for Zoom? We'll see you guys hopefully in the future. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Thanks so much for playing today.
All right, GG's.
Guys,
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.
GG's.
everybody.
GG's.
Bye.